Welcome to Egypt, land of the pharaohs, my home. I am a teller of tales. My name is Metamora. The tale I have for you this evening is wondrous indeed. It concerns a mighty queen of Egypt whom time forgot. I refer to Her Highness, Queen Toots. Our tale concerns the opening of the mighty queen's tomb in the 1920s and the events that follow, as you will see. Permit me to begin by introducing the characters in my story, starting with the famed archaeologist, Professor Artie Fax.
Despite my many previous accomplishments, I consider the discovery of Queen Toots' tomb to be an achievement of a lifetime.
Professor Fax's colleague on the expedition was Sir Crocker Dyer, an eminent British expert in antiquities.
What, eh? Quite. Fascinating place, Egypt. Except a bloke cannot find a decent cup of tea here.
Professor Fax relied heavily on his dedicated historian, D. Scriber, to record their findings.
Most historians work in dusty old libraries, but I prefer to be where history is actually being made.
Professor Fax never traveled anywhere without his devoted cook, Amanda Potts. She went, but she wasn't always happy about it.
It's impossible to make a decent meal in the desert. When you try to make a sandwich, it really is a sandwich.
An important member of the team was Niles Banks, a soldier of fortune. It was his job to make sure that no tomb robbers or marauders stole any of Queen Toots' treasures.
I live for danger. I live for excitement. I live for adventure. It's not a bad life.
For the first time, Professor Fax allowed his beloved niece, Sue Ara, to accompany him on an expedition. Miss Ara, a college student majoring in Egyptian studies, was dedicated to be an asset to the team.
I could tell from reading the first scroll we found in Queen Toots' tomb that she was a powerful ruler. She was beautiful, tyrannical, and evil to the core.
When Professor Fax invited Miss Christine Manners, the headmistress in an exclusive British girls' school, to accompany him along with 4 of her students on the expedition, he had no idea that the guests would arrive as if they were dressed for a tea party.
I was shocked to discover that Professor Fax expects my students and me to reside in humble tents at a small oasis miles from civilization. It's barbaric. Why bother unearthing ancient remains when there are no decent hotels nearby?
The young ladies were no more prepared for a visit in the desert than she. They were.
I'm June Day, and I think the desert is beautiful and exciting, and I'm very glad to be here.
I'm Constance Payne. I hate it here. It's hot, got sand in my knickers, and I'm very uncomfortable. I'm Heidi Quick, and I'm scared of the desert. There are snakes and scorpions, and a sandstorm could blow us all away. I'm Melody Singer. I wish Miss Manners had taken us to Italy instead of Egypt. That way I could have practiced my Italian. That would have been very useful, seeing as I plan to be a great opera singer someday. Tutti amore fratello mio.
Every story has a villain, or in our case, a villainess, the beautiful and exotic Allura.
It is my great honor to be the direct descendant of Serpentina, favorite handmaid of the Queen Toots. Now that Queen Toots' tomb has been discovered, it is my great honor to restore the great queen back to life so that she may once again rule over all of Egypt. She'll bring death and destruction to all who defy her.
Allura's reprehensible handsome shop had nothing to make sure the mistress's orders were carried out. She relied most heavily on the venomous Ben Dare Dundat.
Those who aid Allura in bringing Queen Toots back to life will hold positions of great power under her rule. I intend to be among them. Woe be unto anyone who stands in my way. Abadabadoo.
Someone calls?
Shadana! I heard my name spoken.
I didn't say it. It wasn't me.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I would have felt my lips move.
Silence! Abba, Shah, and I are willing to sacrifice our lives for the Queen.
And these are Allora's serving women, Jamila, Zara, Sophia, and Mandisa. Now you have met the characters in my story, a tale of adventure, greed, romance, and ancient magic. Let it begin! The entrance to Queen Toots' tomb.
I say, old man, all of these objects we brought from the tomb so far are in frightfully good shape. What?
I couldn't agree with you more, Crocker. Here, take this large carving of a cat.
Eh? Thank you. Much obliged.
I meant, look at it.
Oh. Right.
There's not a nick on it. Every item that was buried with Tootsie Wootsie was of the highest quality.
Good kitty. According to one of these scrolls, Uncle Artie, the finest artists in Egypt were commissioned to make the treasures that were entombed with her. But it said one sculptor made a bust of her head that displeased her. She had his hands chopped off.
My goodness!
The poor bloke must have caught her on a cranky day. A.D.?
Apparently, the woman never had anything but. Queen Tootsie Wootsie was fond of beheadings too. I've seen dozens of hieroglyphics of little stick bodies with no heads on them.
Subjects lost their heads over Queen.
It's a good thing all British queens didn't take after their Egyptian counterparts. Of course, if Her Majesty Queen Victoria's hands had slipped when she tapped my shoulders with her sword to knight me.
Don't worry about it, Crocker. You still got a good head on your shoulders.
Thanks, old bean.
This is odd.
What's that, Sue?
Well, it says here that one reason Queen Tootsie Wootsie demanded that only the finest treasures be buried with her was because she believed she'd be able to return from the dead one day to claim them.
That is odd. Queen plans to attempt a comeback.
What did the woman think she was doing? Putting items on layaway for 3,000 years? What?
Something like that, Sir Crocker.
That explains it.
Explains what, Uncle Artie?
Before wrapping the remains in bandages, the Egyptians removed the deceased vital organs, the brain, heart, and such, and placed them in can-paper jars beside the corpse. We found no burial jars with Tootsie Wootsie. Apparently, her organs weren't there.
Good thinking on her part. It'd be rather awkward to return from the dead with no brain.
Evidence indicates Queen kept her wits about her. From what you said, Sue, it sounds like she never even had a heart to begin with. The whole idea of her coming back to life at all gives me the creeps.
Professor Fax, the workers have cleaned some of the supplies. I thought you'd like to examine them.
We would thank you, Niles.
Sue, may I speak with you a moment?
Of course, Niles. What would you like to speak to me about?
Ask you, really. The moon will be full tonight. I thought that after supper we might take a stroll over to the Sphinx. It looks very beautiful and mysterious in the moonlight.
Well, that sounds lovely. But, no, I had better not.
May I ask why?
Well, I've begged Uncle Artie to let me go with him on his expeditions for the last 3 years, ever since I started college. This summer, I convinced him. I finally have the skills to translate the hieroglyphics we've discovered, and being a member of the team that helped discover Queen Tootsie Wootsie's tomb will ensure my being accepted into graduate school at Yale or Harvard.
That's wonderful, Sue, but I don't see how that...
Oh, Niles, I like you a lot. But that's the problem, you see. At this point in my life, I just can't afford any distractions.
Is that what I am to you? A distraction?
You could be, if I let you.
Well, I wouldn't want that to happen. If you'll excuse me, I need to go water a camel.
Are you feeling all right, Sue?
What? Oh, yes, I'm fine, Dee. Dee, do you regret that you've never married? That you've devoted your life to your career?
Oh my. I've lived a very full life so far. I've traveled all over the world, seen sights that most people only dream of. I almost gave it all up, though, for love.
Really?
His name was Clifford. Cliff Klinger. He was an adventurer. We were truly kindred spirits.
What happened? I mean, why didn't you marry her? His greatest ambition was to climb Mount Everest. And he did. It was his crowning achievement.
Well, how wonderful.
Yes. Unfortunately, when he reached the top, he started dancing about with joy and fell off.
How terrible.
Yes, it was a bittersweet victory to say the least. Maybe I should have married Cliff when he proposed, but I was just beginning my career and I wasn't ready to settle down yet. Your uncle had asked me to accompany him to see the pyramids at Giza, so I said, let's wait. We have plenty of time. A month later, he was gone. I often wonder what would have happened if Cliff would have climbed down Mount Everest instead of... So sorry, Dee. Yes, well, there was nothing for me to do except pick up the pieces. Of my shattered life, I mean. And carry on.
Dee, I'd like you to make a list of these new items for the record.
Coming, Arthur. Sue, one day you're going to have to make a decision, whether you follow your heart or your head. Choose wisely. Must I follow my heart or my head?
Poor Suella. Not only was she in danger of losing the man that she loved, her very life was soon to be in jeopardy. That night at Laura's tent.
Laura,
Bender! How many times have I told you to knock before entering my abode?
1,000 pardons. As you know, I always knock at the door to your dwelling in Cairo, but when you knock upon a tent, all you get is a whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Well, in that case, you are forgiven.
Sit!
Now tell me, how near is Professor Fack's team to unsealing the burial chamber, the resting place of Queen Toots' sarcophagus and mortal remains?
Very near. As you know, since I'm the Department of Antiquities representative on the Fax expedition, I am required to be present when the chamber is open. The professor told me he expects the event to take place tomorrow morning.
Ah, praise be to all the gods of Egypt. If this is so, then tomorrow night, with my help, Queen Tootsie Wootsie will walk upon the desert sands again.
Might I ask how her birth is to be accomplished?
You may know, since I will need your assistance in awakening our queen. Come outside. We've passed down a little spell ever since my great-grandmother, Serpentina.
Many generations removed.
Of course. Your job will be to give the instructions to Abadabadoo and Shanana. When they're ready, of course.
We heed you, O mistress.
Your wish is our command.
I grovel before you like a dog.
I am lower than a dog. I'm a breed. I'm a dog.
What do you two do? Wait around my tent waiting for your names called?
What else is there to do, mistress? There's very little social life in the desert.
And there's not a lot to do unless you like counting grains of sand.
Now get up! Are these the best helpers you could find?
You should see the rejects. One chit of drool, who spits more than a camel. Chopped off digit, the inept stealer of knives with 9 fingers. Call me Bubba from the south, with the sun-reddened neck.
All right. I get the idea. Now, pay attention! Here's the plan. You are adopt Professor Fax's niece and bring her to Queen Toots' tomb tomorrow night at midnight.
You mean Miss Hera?
That is the name, yes.
I've seen her with the professor. She's very pretty.
I have seen her too. A wealthy man would pay many goats for such a beauty.
And maybe even throw in a lamb or two.
And a monkey.
Oh,
Did I ask you to set her worth? You cannot. For my purpose, she is priceless.
And what is your purpose, mistress?
Simply this: to transfer her spirit into the mummified remains of Queen Tootsie Wootsie.
boy, that's a neat trick.
It's no trick! It is an ancient magic. By the time the ritual I shall perform has been completed, Miss Hera's body will be but an empty shell, and Queen Tootsie Wootsie will live again.
They don't get out much.
Excuse us, mistress.
We're going to carry out your wishes right away.
Not yet, you idiots! I shall invite Professor Fax's party to dine with us tomorrow night. And while they're there, we'll introduce a sleeping potion into Miss Hera's and her mates' drinks. Then, after they've returned to their camp and retired for the night, we'll abduct the girl without alerting anyone to her absence and bring her to the tomb. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, mistress.
Yes, mistress, yeah. I wish we would have taken notes.
Then go.
Yes,
Yes, mistress.
yes, yes, come on. Yes, run.
Wonder if chopped off digit and call me Bubba are still available.
Do not worry, Olaron. Abadabadu and Shana Na will not fail you. They know the fate that awaits them if they do.
I'll trust you're right, but I'll have my handmaidens boil some oil in case you're not. My plan must be carried out then and there. Queen Tootsie Wootsie will live again.
The sun rose bright and hot the next day, as it did every morning in the Sahara. At the expedition's campsite, a few miles from the entrance to Queen Toots' burial chamber, their cook, Amanda Potts, was anxious to begin the day's breakfast, as she did every morning. She was in an unpleasant mood, as she was every morning.
Oh, good morning, Amanda. What's cooking as you yanks, eh?
Me and this heat, Sir Cracker. And that's all, until Niles gets here with some supplies from the city.
Surprise, what? Young Banks went for them? One of them servants usually does that.
Yeah, but he seemed agitated over something all afternoon, and he told Professor Fax he'd go into Cairo, spend the night, and bring the food back this morning. Wish he'd get here.
So do I. The old chump town's feeling a bit empty.
You want a date?
Oh, that's very kind of you to ask, Amanda, but I'm a confirmed bachelor. Married to my work, you see.
I meant I have some fruit there if you want any. Dates, grapes, figs.
Oh, that kind of date. How amusing. Don't mind if I do. Thanks.
Silly old coot.
Good morning. How are you?
Hot.
Bully, simply bully. I say, Miss Scriber, would you like a date?
Oh, no, thank you. I'd rather have some grapes.
Oh, well, quite.
I have coffee if anyone wants any.
That sounds lovely.
I prefer tea.
Don't have any. Niles is supposed to bring some.
Well, in that case, this other beverage will do.
The real too huge.
Thank you, Amanda.
Don't mention it.
I was But now I won't. Did you sleep well, Dean?
Actually, no, I didn't. Sue must have been having troublesome dreams last night. She tossed and turned on her cot and muttered in her sleep all night long. It was very distracting.
I noticed that too. I finally stuck a raisin in each ear and slept like a baby.
How resourceful.
Didn't have any cotton. No drugstore nearby to run to and get some. I learned to make do when I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere, which is most of the time.
No one is up and stirring about, I see. Except for my niece.
I should be stirring some oatmeal, but the Banks boy hasn't come back with it.
Niles, perhaps our guests are delaying his return. We'll be escorting him here from Cairo.
Guess?
Yes, the school headmistress and her 4 students who asked permission to observe the excavation. I told you about them.
Yeah, I remember. Guess that means I have more mouths to cook for, huh?
He has pristine manners. Your 4 students, I believe. Manage fine, Amanda. You always do.
Whatever. Here.
I say, Archie, why don't you ask Amanda for a date?
No thanks. Rather big.
Good morning.
Sue, how's my favorite niece at school today?
Your only niece has felt better, Uncle Artie, but thank you for asking. I didn't sleep very well.
Pity. I slept like the dead. Always do.
I wish I could.
You will, my dear, sooner than you think. Forgive me, Professor Fax, if I intrude on your morning repast.
Is what?
Breakfast.
Why didn't you just say so?
You're not intruding at all, Bender. In fact, our morning meal's been delayed. You're welcome to some fruit if you like.
Why don't you ask Miss Hera for a date?
I'm grateful for the kind offer, but I'm not hungry.
Thank goodness. If we had to stretch the food supply any further, we'd all find ourselves on a Sahara Desert survival diet. 2 sips of water and all the food you can smell.
How may I help you, Bender?
I bring an invitation on behalf of my companion, Allura. She wishes to invite the members of your expedition to join her for dinner tonight.
Hallelujah.
Jolly sport, you never? Glad to accept.
It is very kind of Allura to ask us. I shall be happy to attend.
If someone else is doing the cooking, count me in.
And I. What about you, Sue?
I don't know. I might just stay here and turn in early.
But Miss Hera, Allura was most insistent I gain an affirmation from you. It is you she most specifically wishes to see.
Me? Why me?
She, commented that she would like to spend some more time with a female companion of her own age. Please say you'll come, gracious lady.
Well,
It'd be a nice gesture if you complied, Sue. Thinking of public relations.
I understand, Uncle Artie. Please tell Allura I accept her kind invitation.
1,000 thanks.
You notice he didn't kiss our hands when we accepted.
It's a good thing, too. If he tried to kiss mine, I'd tell him to kiss my foot instead.
We shall look for you to arrive about 7.
Oh, Artie, are you forgetting your guest, Mr. Dundat? The professor's expecting guests to arrive at any moment.
That's right. A school headmistress and her 4 students.
Really? Well, I'm sure Allura would wish me to include them in the invitation as well.
We'll let them know. Thank you, Mr. Dundat, and please thank Allura as well.
Gladly, everyone.
Thank you, Sue. Allura is a very wealthy woman and has powerful friends in the Department of the Interior. It'd be wise not to offend her.
That's all right, Uncle Artie. I don't particularly care for the woman, but I don't mind dining with her if it'll benefit the expedition. The few times I've been around Allura, I've found her to be quite charming. What is it you don't like about her, Sue? I don't know. Although she can be, as you say, charming, but I sense her pleasant behavior isn't entirely sincere. Why is she here anyway?
Allura told me she is fascinated that we found the remains of an Egyptian queen whose rule somehow went unchronicled in the country's history. Bender invited her to accompany him to observe the expedition, and she accepted.
And this morning, we finally meet the girl, Queen Tootsie Wootsie. I mean, right?
Quite right, and we'll be the first to gaze upon her for 4,000 years.
Sounds to me like something you should do on a full stomach. Where is that mouse?
I'm right here, Amanda. It's nice to know somebody misses me.
It wasn't you I was thinking about, it was the food. Let's see what you brought.
Some things wouldn't fit into the baskets.
Come along, gals. Surely there must be some place where we can escape from this merciless heat.
I like the sunshine, Miss Manners. It's never this bright at home.
Parasol up, June. Do you want to turn into one giant freckle? Constance, please don't dawdle.
I can't help it, Miss Manners. My shoes keep singing to the sound.
No wonder. Those shoes were meant to walk on marble floors.
Just be glad we're finally away from those camels. I hate camels. They scare me. My camel tried to bite me. Well, I don't blame him. It's relative we took.
I was afraid I was going to fall off.
Oh, Heidi, even if you did, it would be like landing in a big sandbox. Don't be so full of gloom and woes. The worst you could do is get sand up your nose. Good grief, Molly. This is your singing day and night. What a music. We're going to buy a Victrola. Girls, please, mind your manners.
Professor Fax, your visitors.
Please tell me it's going to be a short visit.
Welcome to our camp.
Miss Manners, Professor Fax. Professor Fax, Miss Manners.
A pleasure, Miss Manners.
Thank you. May I introduce you to my pupils? June Day, Constance Payne, Heidi Quick, and Melody Singer. This trip to Egypt is just what I need. I'll remember it when I star in the opera Aida. Aida is set in Egypt, you know.
Quite. Oh, rousing opera. Spectacular.
I must have missed it.
Ladies, these are the other members of my expedition. Sir Crocodile.
How do you do?
Miss Dee Scriber.
I hope your stay will be a pleasant one.
My niece, Suhara.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
And our cook, Amanda Potts.
I'll let you know up front, I don't do special orders. What I cook is what you eat. Or not. I'll know what I got to offer when I take a look in here.
Food? I'm famished. Mr. Banks hurried us, so we didn't have time for breakfast. May we have some raisins?
Help yourselves.
I'm so hungry I could eat a horse.
It could come to that.
This is so good. I think you just ate a beetle. She's just kidding. I never thought I would be present. The taste of a raisin.
Easy, girls. Make sure you save at least 2. I might need them tonight.
If you will excuse me, I will be getting my gear together for this morning's trip to the excavations.
And I as well.
Please overlook my students' behavior, Professor Fax. I fear their appetites have quite overridden their manners.
Girls will be girls.
I expect my girls to be ladies at all times. Perhaps nice cool showers won't calm them down. Mr. Banks, if you would be so kind as to lead us to our hotel. I presume it must be over yon sand dune.
Hotel?
Miss Manners, the nearest hotel is the one you left in Cairo. We've pitched a tent for the girls and set up a cot for you in here, with Dee, Amanda, and Sue.
You expect us to stay here?
It's either that or bump down the camel.
Oh!
Miss Manners, perhaps you better sit down.
Yes. Did you hear that? We're to stay in a tent.
So, I'm scared to sleep outdoors. Suppose a snake came in while we're asleep.
They say Cleopatra was bitten by an asp. We'll know that one got you if we hear you gasp.
Don't worry, girls. We haven't seen that many snakes since we've been here. And the few we have seen were curled up with the food. They eat the bugs it attracts. That ought to keep them out of the supplies.
I want to go home. I want to go back to the hotel. Oh no, let's stay. Being in the desert is so exciting.
I agree with June. We'll remember this as one of life's great adventures when we're old and wearing dentures. If you don't stop that screeching in my ear, you're going to need them a lot sooner than that.
Ladies, that's quite enough.
Please, Miss Manners, let's go. Please, Miss Manners, let's stay.
Dear, I don't know what to do.
I'm afraid you don't have much choice, Miss Manners. This morning I plan on entering Queen Toots' burial chamber, and I won't be able to spare any of my workers to take you back to Cairo.
Besides that, it gets mighty hot later in the day.
Hotter than this.
Yes, young lady, that's why I rousted you up so early this morning. If you tried to return to Cairo now, you'd arrive feeling like baked chicken.
Ew! Forget the raisins. I think I'm gonna need plums.
Miss Manners, it isn't that bad here at the Oasis. There's a nice pool of water and palm trees for shade. It's actually quite lovely. In the evening, in the moonlight.
Well then, I suppose we must make the best of the situation. We shall remain, Professor Fax.
Wise decision. I'll see that your luggage is brought to your tent.
I'm going to be caught in the back of the tent. There's one of the flat high can have their toes throughout which branch shall I can get them.
You want to come with me, lady? I'll show you where we're gonna bunk down.
I was surprised when Uncle Artie told me you had gone to Cairo.
Well, someone had to get the supplies and escort the visitors to camp.
I had trouble sleeping last night, so I took a walk over to the Sphinx. You were right. It is lovely in the moonlight.
I suppose so, if you're in the right mood. Otherwise, it's just a ridiculous hunk of stone. A man's head on a lion's body. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Did the Sphinx have a savage heart of a lion? Or was it vulnerable? Like a man's? If you'll excuse me, I'll give the professor a hand.
Young Niles Banks sat on the edge of the pond that defined the oasis.
Just as I figured, when I can't find you anywhere else, I know. All I have to do is look by the pool of water and here you'll be.
Do you need me, Amanda?
Yeah, I need you to put some grub in your stomach. I set aside a plate of curried eggs for you, and it wasn't easy either. I thought I was going to have to wrestle that AIM girl to the ground to keep her away from them, but I managed to save them.
Let her have them. I don't want anything to eat.
Don't be foolish. You have to eat. You can't survive in this kind of heat without some food or drink in you. All right, as we cooks say, spill beans.
What?
Tell Amanda what's troubling you.
What makes you think something's wrong?
Because I've seen happier faces at a wake. And I've catered quite a few in my day before I teamed up with the professor. So, what's the reason for the sourpuss?
I'm in love.
That'll do you every time. You're sweet on Sue, huh?
How did you know?
Because these are eyeballs in my head, not marbles. Any woman can tell by the way you look at her. You think she hung the moon and the stars and maybe a couple of planets.
It's that obvious?
To a woman it is. And let me tell you something else. Sue's head over heels about you too.
Well, if she is, she sure has a funny way of showing it. I know she likes me. She told me so. But she likes her work more.
I don't blame Sue for wanting a career. Why, it took till now, the 1920s, for women to make a living doing something other than cooking and cleaning and teaching school, that sort of thing. Why, if I'd been born 40 years later like Sue, I might be going to college to learn the weird little drawings on a piece of papyrus.
But then I wouldn't be able to enjoy your honey oat cakes or curried eggs.
Oh, get on with you. I've lived a good life, Niles. I've seen the world, even if I had to do it with a ladle in my hand. The point is, Sue can do even better.
Then you think I should step aside?
Now wait a minute. I'll tell you what I think. Have you ever known me not to say what I think?
Never, Amanda.
All right then. A woman today has to learn to balance a career and a romance in her life. It won't be easy, but Sue's a smart girl, and if anyone can do it, she can. The first step is to make her realize just how much you mean to her.
Now you're talking. You're always talking.
Don't get smart. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. We gals can get powerfully jealous. If Sue thought you were interested in another woman, she might get the sudden urge to fight for her man.
But I don't care about anybody but Sue.
I know that, you nit. But if you make Sue believe that she do,
She'll realize how much she loves me.
you got it.
I'm willing to give it a try. But who can I pretend to be attracted to? I don't think Sue would believe I was smitten with Dee, or Miss Manners, and her students are too young. Who's left?
We've all been invited to dine with that Allura woman this evening, and she'll be there this morning when Professor Fax opens the tomb, won't she?
Allura. She's certainly attractive,
So much the better.
but there's something about her I don't like.
Well, you better pretend to if you want Sue to come out fighting for you.
All right, I will, Amanda. You're a gem. Maybe I should try to make Sue jealous of you.
Oh, get on with you, Niles. I'm too old for that love nonsense. Besides, want to make Sue jealous, not fall down on the ground on a laughing fit.
If there's ever anything I can do for you.
Can do something for me right now. Help me down. Sometimes I can tell my knees what I want them to do, and they tell me, forget it, lady.
What would I do without you?
Go hungry. Which reminds me, you're gonna eat those curried eggs if I have to spoon feed them to you with a frying pan.
Whatever you say, Amanda.
I thought you'd see it my way. Come on.
If Amanda Potts had lived back in the ancient times, she would have been considered a wise woman and served as counselor to the reigning queen or pharaoh. Young Niles would do well to listen to her advice. He put her plan into action later that day, at the burial chamber of Queen Tootsie Wootsie.
It's just down this corridor. Ah, yes, here we are.
Oh, I say, that made the old girl a bit difficult to get to. What?
These corridors form a very elaborate maze.
All the better to confuse potential grave robbers. They were very fortunate that none broke in over the centuries and looted the tomb.
They would have found a treasure trove. These doors are covered with beaten gold.
Surely impressive. Can you read what those hieroglyphics say, Sue?
Yes, Sir Crocker. It's a warning, no, a curse. It describes in graphic detail the fate who will befall anyone who disturbs Queen Toot's sleep.
I suppose that means us?
Sleep. That's what it says?
Yes, Uncle Artie. It's pretty gruesome. See this little stick figure and the crocodiles and the daggers and the flames?
Whoever disturbs the tomb will be maimed and mutilated.
Yes. We get the idea.
This one is buried alive, and this one is hanging over a snake pit.
Tortured.
Maybe this wasn't such a good idea.
Very funny, Crocker. Pretend to be afraid of an ancient curse. You may have worked on superstitious vandals of old, but not modern men of science like us.
Modern men of science, yes.
And modern women, right, Sue? Right. I could see where the curse might have worked on the natives, though. Some of these drawings are just downright gory. Like this one. The figure's arms and legs are tied to 4 horses and...
Carefully, don't get split up.
Yikes!
Oh, there you are. We so never on call lost you somewhere, Professor Fax.
My apologies, Miss Manners. I thought you were right behind us.
Oh, I don't like this place. I'm scared. What else is new?
You're scared now. Wait till you see what's on the doors.
Oh, look. These are beautiful. Are they gold?
Yes, June. According to the inscription, Queen Toot's sarcophagus lies just behind them.
And inside it's her mummy.
Mm-hmm.
I want my mummy. Oh, be quiet, silly. Boy, Queen Toots really knew how to live.
What you mean is, she didn't know how to die. Guess if you have to go, that's the way to go. You said it. You told us that Queenie was really a meanie. But you have to admit, this Queen of the Now surely knew how to go out in style.
I say, does she do that often?
All the time. It drives me crazy. Now that we're down here, why don't we get on with the unsealing of the tomb, Professor Fax? Well, this is very educational for my students. I must admit, I find the place to be most oppressive.
And scary.
You've made your point, dear.
And I look forward to returning to the Oasis.
You're not the only one.
We should be able to proceed shortly, Miss Manners. We're waiting for the arrival of the Egyptian government's representative and his guest. Niles waited outside the tomb to escort them there.
Fate won't have you forever.
Watch your step, Allura.
Speak of the devil, it's Bender.
Professor, your guests have arrived.
Bender, Allura, I believe you know everyone except Miss Pristine Manners and her 4 charges.
How
you do.
Been there, done that, Miss Marcus. It's a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure's all yours. I mean, mine.
May I present an old acquaintance, Allura?
Miss Manners.
Miss...
Allura. Just Allura.
The name suits you well.
Thank you, Niles.
Just one name. How sophisticated.
Yeah, she's beautiful too.
Mr. Banks seems to think so.
Miss Manners, aren't you going to introduce us? You taught us this polite thing to do.
But these are, what's her names? My pupils.
I think it's getting warmer in here.
It must be. Miss Manners is turning a bright shade of pink.
Wait, can't speak! Hold your lips!
How come nobody ever introduces us?
Keep still, dummy. We're servants, not guests at a tea party.
These are my handmaidens. Their devotion to Queen Toots' tomb is only rivaled by my own.
Our queen was astonishing. Her beauty was matched by none. We honor, only honor. Almost as much as we honor Allura.
And these are my men servants, Abadabadu and Shanana. I brought them should you require their aid in unsealing the tomb.
Charmed, charmed, charmed. Not bad, huh?
Just bow, you idiot.
Boy, are you gonna catch it when your mistress gets you back to camp.
Oh, go suck on a coke.
What a generous offer, Lord.
I'm happy to be of service, Niles.
Look at how she's charming him.
The way a snake charms a bird.
I agree. She's the snake and he's a big dodo.
I say, Archie, it would save some time if we use Allura's men rather than fat show workers. I mean, right?
Quite right. Fine suggestion, Cracker.
It's easy for him to say. He doesn't have a bad back. Oh, or bruised ribs.
We'll gladly accept their help, Allura. Now, if everyone will stand up aside, we should be able to proceed.
This way, maybe the curse will only affect those bills. Or, I mean, if such a thing could happen, of course.
Curse?
What curse?
Silence! You shall only speak when I wish you to.
Oh, she can be mean.
No kidding. Have you ever seen anyone so harsh?
Just be quiet!
Now that you mention it.
Excuse me, Sir Dial. What did you mean by curse? I'm scared of curses.
Archie,
Perhaps I'd better explain this one. My niece Sue just translated the hieroglyphics written on the golden doors. The message warns the fate that will befall anyone who disturbs Queen Toots' burial chamber.
They will be tortured, maimed, mutilated.
Ghastly! I want out of here. When's the next camel for Cairo? For once, I'm with Heights.
So old Queen Tootsie left a curse. Things have to get better because they can't get worse.
Girls, don't be frightened. Egyptian rulers usually left such curses on their tomb to scare away superstitious grave robbers. There's no such thing as magic.
You think not?
I must say, the doors would have done the trick for me. Or, I mean, if I weren't a modern man of science, of course. Grisly bit of business, though.
Curse or not, we have to carry on. The discovery of Queen Toots' mummy will go down in history.
In ways you couldn't even begin to dream of. I mean, Niles is right. Her Majesty must be released.
Released?
This is it, isn't there? The moment we've all been eagerly awaiting. With your permission as the Egyptian government's representative, we shall proceed.
It is granted, gladly. Abba, Shaw, pick up the instruments, now.
We could have had a fine job working with Raoul the rat catcher. But no, you insisted we were for Mistress Allura.
I'm sorry. If we live through this, I'll give her 2 weeks' notice.
Make mine 2 seconds.
Wait! Before we unseal the tomb, I would like to pay homage to our sleeping queen.
I don't understand the woman. Does she think Queen Toots has been taking a 4,000-year nap?
I believe a tribute is an excellent idea.
You're very understanding, Niles.
That cat. She's got everything one needs but whiskers and a tail.
And with that outfit, we can't be sure about the tail.
Oh, Queen Tootsie Wootsie, almighty Queen of Egypt, handmaiden Serpentina, who beseeches you, hear me!
Weird lady talks to dead woman.
This makes my flesh crawl.
Yeah, mine's about to crawl out the door with me in it.
Heed my entreaty, O exalted one. Do not smite these two bumbling fools who are about to unseal your resting place.
Is she talking about us?
Do you see anyone else holding a mallet and chisel?
They're not worth killing.
She's right. We're not.
We're worms. We're lower than worms.
Remove your curse, O queen, and let us welcome you to a world filled with unspeakable wealth.
Good idea. I like it.
I dance to honor my queen.
What should we do? I'm never sure. It's not Charleston.
Allura's a woman of many talents.
Amazing.
I thought we came here to see a mummy, not a hoochie coochie dancer.
Allura does exotic dance. Men stare at her like pigs at an ear of corn. I don't care what Arthur says. That's staying in the record.
There's no fool like an old fool. Unless it's a young one.
I have to say, that was inspiring.
Thank you.
That wasn't the word I had in mind.
Just wait till I show that dance to the girls at school.
And for my dead body!
Didn't say that, Miss Manners. Around here, that could really happen.
Shall we unseal the doors?
Not them, you fools. You open it.
The dance so commanding.
Strikes me as a bit of a bully.
Allura, take my hand. I would hate if your head face hit by a fine-tooth stone.
You're very considerate, Niles.
I guess Niles wouldn't care if my face got carved up like a totem pole.
Men.
Will you two hurry? You're slower than scarabs!
Scarabs? What scarabs?
See the kitchen beetles with huge pinchers, like one part of the sketch.
Now they'll be down to you.
Honey, what on earth is the matter with you?
Beetle, bug.
Don't be ridiculous. There are no bugs on you.
There aren't.
Just kidding.
Such disrespect.
I assure you, Ben. Mr. Dundat, the girls do not have such behavior at my school.
Some of us know how to act like ladies.
That's right, June. Some of us are prim and proper, but when Heidi squeaks, there's no way to stop her.
It's my fault.
I don't doubt it in the least. Sometimes Constance can act like a beast.
Let's see how well you smell the fat lip.
Ladies, that's quite enough. What will everyone think of you?
Sorry, Miss Manners.
Begging your pardon, but I believe the doors can be opened now.
If you really think we should.
It's about time. What are you waiting for? Open them!
She's magnificent.
My queen.
Sarcophagus is found behind the golden doors. It is in perfect condition.
Look, Sue, this is what archaeology is all about. Isn't she remarkable?
She certainly is, Uncle Artie. Thank you for letting me be a part of such a wonderful discovery.
She's ripping. Simply ripping.
Congratulations, Professor Fax. I'm sure this discovery will go down in history.
I couldn't have done it without you, boy. Without all of you. Congratulations, do all around.
Sue?
Niles?
Certainly such an event deserves more than a handshake. Give Niles a hug. And Dee, faithful Dee, thank you for being a part of the team.
There's no place I'd rather be, Arthur.
Oh, I say. Do you bring huggies, are we?
Oh,
Sorry.
Just watch as man squirms with the trick.
And I think Sir Crocker's kind of cute.
Then you go hug him.
Well, not that cute.
So that's what the mummy looks like. That's not so bad.
No, silly, that's the sarcophagus. The mummy's inside.
Then
I don't feel any different. Mistress Allura must have removed the curse. You finished with us, mistress? Can we please go now?
not yet, you idiots! You must be certain Queen Toots is inside.
Inside? Where would you go?
Allura's right. Sometimes the ancient Egyptians would have hide more than one sarcophagus in Allura's tomb to confuse the marauders. It must have worked. I don't know what the heck's going on.
You heard your mistress. Open the lid.
That has got to be the ugliest thing I've ever saw.
Infidel! How dare you blaspheme so!
Better watch what you say, Constance. You know how Miss Manners locks you in her closet sometimes when you're really bad? If she forgot and left you there for a few thousand years, you'd look just like that.
Queen Toots is reported to be the most beautiful woman who ever ruled the kingdom. More beautiful than Cleopatra. More beautiful than Helen of Troy.
Maybe except my ancient Aunt Berta being a beauty contest today.
Apparently, the inscription I read on the scroll yesterday was a line of ancient code.
What inscription, Miss Hera?
It said that Queen Tootsie Wootsie believed that she'd be able to return from the dead.
What superstitious nonsense.
Exactly, Miss Manners. I don't think we'll have to worry about Queen Toots walking among us. The remains are quite well preserved. Considering, perhaps we should close the lid on her sarcophagus until I can run some tests to make sure Errol will not damage it.
I'll second that notion.
Yes, Professor Fax. I wouldn't want any harm to come to Her Highness. Close the lid.
I thought you'd never ask.
If you drop her, your head will roll!
My goodness, she's stripped.
Got her. Got her. Close the lid.
Queen Toots almost falls to pieces.
I've been thinking. No one has supposedly heard of Queen Tootsie Wootsie for centuries. How come Allura knows so much about her?
Those are good questions. Maybe I should take her aside tonight and ask her.
Perhaps you should.
Miss Manners, are you all right?
Oh! Sir Doyle, what are you doing? Oh! Oh! Release me at once!
Oh, Artie, old fella. Don't believe I've congratulated you yet.
My congratulations as well, Professor.
And mine. I'm honored you allowed me to be present at such an auspicious occasion.
What kind of occasion?
Suspicious.
I do hope to see all of you at my abode for dinner tonight. I promise you a celebration dinner you'll never forget. Miss Hera, Niles, if you'll escort us to the entrance, I do need to get started on tonight's festivities.
It will be a pleasure.
Come.
Charmed.
Perhaps we should secure Queen Toots' burial chamber until I'm ready to remove her. Will you lend me a hand, Carter?
Lend a hand? Glad to. Although hers would probably come off easier. Get it? That's a joke. The mummy's hand would...
Yes! Come. What are some facts? Thank you for inviting us here for this momentous, albeit nerve-wracking occasion. I know that I will never forget it.
Me neither. That scary old thing brought to the sarcophagus, I thought I'd jump out of my skin.
What a horrible sight that would have been if Heidi had no skin to hold her insides in.
Well, I had a wonderful time.
Oh, Judith, your dress caught on fire. Took around saying, "Have a wonderful time, my dress is on fire, have a wonderful time."
I'd have an even better time if your dress was on fire.
That's it! I'm had with you girls. We're going back to camp where you will take your naps.
But Miss Manners, we're too old. We never take naps.
You will today. Miss Scriber, if you know the way, would you please lead us to the tomb's entrance?
Certainly, Miss Manners. Sue, if you don't mind, I'd like your help transcribing my notes. Sure, Dee. Uncle Artie, it truly has been a marvelous day.
Indeed it has, dear.
Cracker! What? Going up to the sunshine, are we? Quite ready, old boy, quite ready. Jolly good show. Wouldn't have missed it for the world. Bet the ladies were glad to have a couple of brave blokes like you and me around when they got their little scare. Hey, what?
Let us pause now in our story and take the time to take a cool sip of water and reflect on the terrible fate that Laura had planned for Suera, namely, to transfer the innocent girl's spirit into the mummified remains of Queen Toots. Will Abadabadoo and Shanana be able to carry out their part of the scheme? Will handsome and brave Niles Banks lose the woman he loves before winning her heart? Will schoolgirl ID Quick be bitten by a tarantula, snake, or beetle before the story ends? Return in 15 minutes for the answers to these and other questions. Until then...